Hello.
Hi, I'm Aaron Lerner from IMRA News Agency.
From where?
From IMRA News Agency.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you some questions about the what you expect is going to be happening with the reunification between Gaza and the West Bank under Hamas. I didn't have your I have your name as Mr. Ibrahim Salama.
Yes, my name is Ibrahim Salama, yes.
And you are the director of the Ministry of the Palestinian Ministry of the Interior, yes, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Excellent. How do you see in this arrangement the handling of security affairs in the Gaza Strip after reunification? Is it going to be under the reunified PA security force, or will Hamas still have an independent action in the Gaza Strip?
I believe that the right thing to do is that to have a unified Palestinian security services within the West Bank and Gaza Strip if there will be a unification, or rehaving the situation as it was just before 2006. But assuming that Hamas will not accept such a thing, mainly they would like to maintain the forces under and the services under their control. So this will be one of the most complicated issues in talkings between both sides, between the PA, between the authority in Ramallah and Hamas.
So there is a possibility you see that the Hamas security forces might actually continue to be the authority on the site, on the scene.
Yes, but I believe that Hamas will not give up their forces and their services for the sake of the reconciliation. And these are, and I believe it is, first of all, it has to be a political decision being made by Hamas. Then it is for the sake of the nature of the things, it is more solving the needs of Hamas, of Gaza people, recruiting them to be part of Hamas and to be part of their services. So giving up their services, they are sending their people to be unemployed, to be not being paid as salaries, which they won't accept.
And a big Israeli concern has been over the weapons that are in the Gaza Strip today, the rockets, the RPGs, all of these, all of this equipment. How is this equipment going to be handled under reunification?
And I believe, smuggling weaponry to Gaza, it was, all over the last 30, 40 years. Mainly at the days of the occupation in Gaza, at the days where IDF was there, there were tunnels and there were smuggling of weaponry. And Israel was surviving with that thing. And then even with a few years where VA was responsible for security, there were smuggling were there. And right now, under the Israeli nose and the Palestinian nose, there are tunnels. There are tunnels for Hamas, and there are tunnels for individuals and for people. Generally speaking, we are talking here about 13 kilometers long, the distance of the border between Egypt and Gaza, where hundreds and hundreds of families are working, which is, a responsibility for the Egyptian and the responsibility of the Israelis and the responsibility of any authority that is taking place in Gaza.
I guess what I'm trying to understand, right now you have official organizations, be they Hamas, Islamic Jihad, etc. Each of them has in its own arsenal rockets and RPGs and all of these things. After reunification, all of these various organizations will continue to hold this equipment, or what?
From my point of view, no, I don't think that they have to. But even at the days of the authority of the DA working in Gaza, they refused even for the sake of participating in the elections in 2006. There were a lot of talks between Hamas, and at that time Hamas was not part of the parliamentary life, Palestinian democratic life, and they refused to give up their weapons for the sake of participating in election, and even they refused to gather them just for the days of the election. So, from the experience, I believe Hamas will not. If the question could we live with that, I don't believe that there will be a real fulfillment of political agreement if we accept it. But this is a situation where there are three parties living together between the Mediterranean and the Jordan level, where Hamas in Gaza, PA in the West Bank, and Israel, and they have to reconsider and to think of the kinds of arrangements that has to happen between the three sides.
So your expectation is that if a deal does go through, that for a deal to go through, that Fatah will have to compromise on this issue.
I believe Fatah will not compromise it.
So there won't be a situation.
The nature of the area, they have to know how to live with it.
So does this mean that you think that the deal won't go through? Then
no, I don't think so.
Let me ask you on the question of right now under reunification was. You had the whole issue of tax collection, of duty collection being subverted because the material was coming through the tunnels. Wasn't the money that was collected was being collected by Hamas, but it wasn't a formal system. You didn't fill out VAT and and customs declarations and all of this. What did you see happening in that area?
And I don't believe that for this special point, and I believe if even from the point of view where the last experience of bringing in fuels from Egypt, there were a big trouble between Hamas and the Egyptian, and a lot of news coming from the new Egyptian government saying that Hamas refused to have official fuel coming from Egypt because they prefer to have it via tunnels. This is what they said recently.
Now in the West? I'm sorry.
No, for the sake of benefit, some groups in Gaza prefer to have fuel coming via tunnels, not via the official.
Yeah.
So if we take this point as measuring point, I believe Hamas and other groups in Gaza will not be part of tax and duties official Palestinian way, organized and governmental way.
Now, in the West Bank, there was also an issue of money. I understand that a considerable amount of money was confiscated from various Hamas charities, and in Nablus, in Ramallah, and is being held now. Yes.
Yes, yeah. In many areas, it is both confiscated by both sides, by Palestinians and Israelis. By the BA and by the Israelis, where any money, any cleaning of money, you being used by charities or what we use as political money used for political reasons, it is confiscated because Israelis did so, and even in 2008. IDF entered many Hamas societies and charities in Nablus, for example, like Iman and Tadamun, and they confiscated money, and they arrested some businessmen who were being accused of collaborating with Hamas in bringing in Hamas money.
What does the PA do with the money that it confiscates? Does it get interest or what?
No, it is being put in the treasury. This is what I've heard, and I haven't any direct information to that. But some societies and some charities were having a lot of the unknown resources of that money coming in. Palestinian security services, put its hand on it, and it is being used to. A treasury or a fund where the security services and the president, mainly as the higher commander, are only responsible for how to deal with it. But as I've heard that it is all is being kept, not being used.
So we're talking about tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. What kind of money are we talking about?
Both sides, the Palestinians and Israelis. I think we are talking about tens of millions.
Also, the Palestinians are holding tens of millions.
Yes.
Is this also an issue that's being discussed in the discussions between Hamas and Fatah, that in reunification that money would be released again?
I have no real access, no direct access to what has been talked, but surely yes, because this is their societies and their charities, and assumingly yes, they are talking about it. But no one has the authority to talk about it.
Let me ask you this as a last question then, sir. What if you sound very pessimistic about reunification? If there isn't reunification, then what will there be? Just the same as we have now, or what do you think is going to happen?
And I believe there will be a lot of talking about unification and reconciliation, but things are as we see it now, and hearing after Doha declaration and Cairo agreements, things are not moving. Things are not moving; just they are standing still where they are.
So this is something that can just.
Meanwhile, I believe the BA leadership is sincere and serious in its efforts to go for reconciliation.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Bye-bye.